When you line up the weekly pay of a staff nurse and a travel nurse side by side, the split is impossible to ignore. One pile consistently towers over the other. Over the course of a year, an active travel nurse can gross roughly $46,000 more than their staff counterpart working in the exact same unit. The gross figure listed on a contract often differs from the actual amount that lands in your bank account. We have to figure out if that extra cash holds its value once you account for the hidden expenses and financial risks of life on the road. To find the actual bottom line, we are running a full-spectrum financial audit of both career paths. We'll break this down into 4 rounds, comparing gross versus net pay, calculating the true value of benefits, assessing IRS tax risks, and looking at long-term wealth building. Generating high monthly cash flow requires an entirely different strategy than building long-term net worth. Travel nursing is built on short bursts of work. You sign a 13-week contract, complete the assignment, and then face a gap before the next one begins. That structure offers significant flexibility. You have the freedom to take 4, 6, or even 8 weeks off a year to travel, rest, or see family. Freedom has a strict price tag. This waterfall chart shows your gross pay advantage. Every week off means you earn exactly $0. Factor in just 4 weeks of unpaid downtime, and almost $10,000 drops straight out of your total earnings. Then you have to logistical costs. Every 13 weeks, you are funding your own moves, paying for temporary storage, and handling out-of-pocket costs for new state licenses and credentialing. Once you subtract the unpaid gaps and the friction of constant relocation, that $46,000 annual gap shrinks. You are often looking at a net advantage of a few $100s a week, rather than a few thousand. Travel nursing wins on pure cash flow, but that victory depends on booking back-to-back contracts and keeping your unpaid downtime to an absolute minimum. W-2 staff roles don't compete on weekly cash. They compete on the benefits packages that act as a financial safety net. A typical hospital offers a retirement match, often between 3 to 6% of your base salary. That is free money. Travelers rarely get a match, meaning they forfeit thousands of dollars in compound growth every year. Travelers also have to self-fund their safety nets. If you want health insurance between contracts, or if you need short-term disability coverage, you pay for it entirely out of pocket. Hospital staff insurance plans are usually heavily subsidized by the employer. Agency plans for travelers, when they are offered, often come with much higher deductibles and premiums that eat directly into those weekly stipends. This comparison matrix tracks the real dollar value of those perks. Between subsidized medical, dental, vision, paid time off, and retirement matches, a staff nurse's benefits package is worth between $8,000 to $15,000 a year. Staff nurses trade a higher hourly rate for a subsidized financial support system that quietly builds wealth in the background over decades. Travel pay relies on a specific blend. Agencies pair a low taxable hourly wage with high-value, tax-free stipends designed to offset your cost of living while on assignment. Those stipends are only tax-free if you obey the IRS tax home rule. You must maintain a legitimate permanent residence that you return to at least once a year. Look at this standard 1040 tax form. To claim tax-free stipends, you must prove a duplication of housing expenses. Right here in the home address field is where nurses get caught. Living full-time on the road makes you transient, turning every stipend into taxable income. Get this wrong and you face an unexpected tax bill easily reaching into the tens of thousands of dollars, complete with back interest and the heavy scrutiny of an audit. Treat those tax-free stipends as strict legal reimbursements that demand precise, ongoing documentation to protect your earnings. To push those stipends as high as possible, travel agencies often drop your taxable base rate to $18 or $20 an hour. That increases your weekly take-home pay, but it creates a massive blind spot for lenders. When you sit down with a bank to buy a house, the underwriter looks at your W-2. They do not count non-taxable stipends as verifiable income. Based on TAG Lending Group's guidance, if your taxable hourly rate is too low, it decreases your loan amount. You might earn $120,000 on paper, but the bank only sees a nurse making a $40,000 salary. Travel nursing increases your immediate cash on hand, but if you aren't careful with how your contracts are structured, it can limit your ability to secure a mortgage. After weighing the cash, the benefits, the taxes, and the borrowing power, the showdown is clear. Travel wins for immediate cash. Staff wins for long-term compound wealth and stability. This quadrant chart maps exactly where you fit. We are plotting your need for stability against your level of financial discipline. If you are a new grad building your skills, a parent needing a predictable schedule for school drop-offs, or someone who wants their retirement funding to run on autopilot, a staff role is your strongest financial move. If you already own a home or have a locked-in rent situation, possess the discipline to manage your own taxes and retirement accounts, and want to obliterate student debt in 12 months, travel nursing will get you there faster. Prioritize the path that fits your actual risk tolerance and long-term goals. The highest headline number doesn't always lead to the highest net worth. Your career isn't locked into a single track. Many nurses travel in their 20s to aggressively pay down debt, then transition to staff roles when they want to buy property and put down roots. Which path are you currently on? And did the invisible costs of either choice catch you off guard? Let us know down in the comments.